average dude has something to say about...
Everybody, welcome back. It has been a while since I have talked about this situation being called maladaptive daydreaming disorder. In other words, those who excessively daydream and have a hard time controlling it in front of other people. We've all met these people. We've all seen that old man or woman taking a walk down the street and muttering, no phone, nothing, not Bluetooth. So we know that they're talking to thin air. We've seen these people always. We have seen these people, young people, those kids out in the yard. You look at them while you're taking a walk, and they're in their yard or what have you, and they're having a hard time controlling their facial expressions, or that they're talking to thin air. We've all seen this. And what's absolutely ridiculous is that as a society, just humans all over, we pretend like we don't notice. We never talk about this. It's that big elephant sitting in the room that just broke some serious, massive, mega, only as an elephant can do, wind, a huge, massive elephant fart, and we're all just pretending that not only did the fart not happen and that the room doesn't smell, but that the elephant simply isn't there. And it's ridiculous. These people, these maladaptive daydreamers, they exist, and yet we don't talk about it. And there's obviously more to talk about when it comes to this particular subject matter. Because I'll tell you what, since I did that first video discussing the situation, it is the most viewed video by far, it is the most liked video by far, it is the most commented video on by far. Granted, I don't have a huge audience, but this clearly, this was a big situation, something that really hit people very raw. They needed to be told about this. They needed to hear somebody else talk about this to acknowledge it. So yeah, I think that it deserves more attention. I have a couple other things that I want to go over. First and foremost, the video, a message to the normies out there discussing maladaptive daydreaming. And also, I want to do a video, a message to the maladaptive daydreamers themselves. But before that, let's just go over the history of this. Dr. Eli Sommer, PhD, coined the phrase maladaptive daydreaming disorder. And some other researchers were going along with this. And Cordellia, otherwise known as Amethyste Rose, she was the first guinea pig. Not only did she allow herself to be used when it came to the research very early on, and she allowed her name, her information to be used, she also threw herself out there via the likes of the internet on YouTube and said, "Hello world, I am one of these people that daydreams a whole bunch." Talk about bravery. Cordelia Amethyste Rose was the first. November 4th of 2010 was when she posted her first video on the situation. And wow, was that an eye-opener for a whole bunch of people. The second person that made a video was AS Kid 1992, August 28th of 2011. Also goes by Divinity. Now, this person was taking video, talking about maladaptive daydreaming in a handful of videos. He was one of those people that recorded what was going on his monitor screen, and what he did was not really cool. He was on Wild Mind's website showing pictures that people put privately. He was just getting on there, showing it to the world, showing images of other people, other maladaptive daydreamers, and he stopped eventually because he did a video where he outed a teenage girl when she tried to confide in her with her family, and that became a big issue because he got involved. It became a big issue. I'm not going to give names on that one. He should not have done it, and he knows that he shouldn't have done it. He has not made a video since then. You see, he comes out saying that he has maladaptive daydreaming disorder himself, but he's made it very clear that he doesn't want to come out. In other words, he doesn't want to show a picture of him or offer his real name. He's Ask Kid 1992 on YouTube and Divinity on Wild Minds Network, but he doesn't want anybody to know about him. And Ask Kid 1992, Divinity, if you happen to be watching this, shame on you, and don't do this again. Because if you're going to out somebody, then you do yourself. You put yourself in front of a camera, and if you have to show the world what a maladaptive daydreamer looks like, then you show yourself. You knew full well you were a cat. You were scared, and that's understandable. Hey, that's a big thing to come out, and not everyone can be like Cordellia Rose, but you don't have, if you're not going to be willing to put yourself out there, you have no business outing a teenage girl or anybody else for that matter. And let that be a cautionary tale for those who have not come out yet. What you post on these websites such as Wild Minds, or I mentioned the Experience Project has a section specifically for maladaptive daydreaming. That's a safer one. Wild Minds, Cordellia Rose really needs to pull in the reins because it's out of control and there's a lot of negativity on that site. It's bad. But be very careful about what you post. I'm sure that Divinity, his intentions were good. I think he was just trying to raise awareness, but intentions are not good enough. The results are what matter, and the results on that one were horrible. It caused a family a lot of problems, and that is not cool. But let's go on. The third person, YouTube user GreyartistMD. This person has a website radio show, and also the YouTube site with video, and entirely dedicated. He was the first entirely dedicated to discussing maladaptive daydreaming disorder, but no new material for 8 months now. The fourth, Antonia 10077, May 11th, 2012, came up with maladaptive daydreaming, what it has done to, and didn't even finish on the title because this person cleared she's suffering. It's a hard video to watch, the poor thing, but she had the courage to come out, and it had to be very painful. Not everybody is okay with the situation, but again, she was one of the few that came before me talking about this. YouTube user TheLindaElisabeth June 21st of 2012, just simply titled Daydreaming. All links down below. I'll let their material speak for itself. But then came Shelby Lyn, YouTube user Shelby Lyn, November 23rd, 2012. The title of that video, Suffer from Maladaptive Daydreaming. Another one having trouble with it. They were the first and the only ones to discuss the situation before me. My first video on the topic was, I posted it February 16th of 2013. I recorded it like a day or two before. But what happened after that? Well, let's see. Okay, so only 6 people discussed maladaptive daydreaming disorder on video on the internet before I did. I was the 7th, and there have been plenty since then. Some are just done making new videos. Cordellia Rose, she's the pioneer. She was the guinea pig, the first to come out and tell the world, I'm that person that daydreams a bunch and occasionally mutters into thin air. Hey, she hasn't talked about it for quite a while, and I don't think that she's going to. GreyartistMD, like I said, has not, although that particular YouTube site was entirely dedicated to it, hasn't made a video in about 8 months. So who knows what's going on there. I really wish that GreyartistMD would make more, but he can't force that. But others, new people, are coming on board. You have some that will talk about what is maladaptive daydreaming disorder? And they'll go over, you know, like item 1, item 2, item 3. They're basically regurgitating what Eli Sommer and the earlier pioneers came up with, the criteria. That's basically all that they're doing. Others are coming out and saying, they're basically coming out of the closet, so to speak, the maladaptive daydreaming disorder closet. And you have those videos. Blonde lady by the name of, well, her YouTube user account, idranktheseawater, she's got a whole lot of hits and views on hers. And another gal called Suhhmantha, if I'm mispronouncing Suhhmantha, I can't tell. It's not spelled like Samantha usually is, so if I'm mispronouncing, forgive me, but hers is extremely popular, has been viewed quite a bit. But I Drank the Seawaters, hers was on March 25th of 2013, Samantha's April 21st of 2013, and someone like dworldmoney, they came after me shortly after me. Now, dworldmoney, he's an interesting one because he is completely okay with it. He's perfectly fine with having maladaptive daydreaming. He doesn't care. He's okay and fine with coming out into the world and saying, hey, yeah, this is how I am, and it doesn't bother me at all. I'm down with it. But I mentioned Antonia 10077, like that poor thing, suffering horrendously. Some people are okay with it. Others are conflicted. Sometimes it bothers them, sometimes it doesn't. There's good things that they like about it, the creativity, the distraction, but then they don't like the downsides as well. And then there's some that are just suffering so bad, like Antonia. Poor thing. So it really depends upon the person, but these are the ones that they're the pioneers that are coming out and talking. And then, the most interesting of all, Dr. Eli Sommer, PhD himself, not that long ago, what, about 5-6 months ago, has a YouTube channel. And he is now talking about maladaptive daydreaming disorder. Wow! The man who coined the phrase. So while people like Cordellia and GreyartistMD aren't saying anything now, you have the doctor himself talking about it. Links down below. Very interesting. As I said, I will have other videos to do, but I think this is a good start. This is the beginning of talking about it, when I became involved, and what has happened since. It's still not talked about a whole lot, but we'll get there. Take care, everybody.